Hi Leo, this is Kajora Lovely with your general reading for the month of October 2019. For those of you who are curious, I am reading with the Modern Spellcasters Tarot. In this reading, we're going to go over your general energy for the month of October, and then something for you to keep in mind this month. Okay. So where you are this month is the Two of Pentacles. This card is about balancing a couple different things. Juggling. It could be, for some of you, a couple different, since the Pentacles deal with homework and money, it could be that some of you have a couple different jobs. Maybe you're juggling between places to live, different forms of income, that sort of thing. Sorry. It could also just mean that there's a lot going on, that it's a busy month. And you have a lot of balls in the air, literally. What's influencing you is the Tower in reverse. This is about a big change that could be coming that something is preventing. Usually the Tower, it's often considered one of the scarier cards. It's often that illusions are being stripped. Since it's in reverse, though, that means that something's blocking that change and the illusions from shifting, at least at the moment. So let's see, what is it that Leo is supposed to know about this Tower in reverse? Chariot in reverse. There's just some stagnant energy moving forward. This could also have to do with a Cancer, the sign of Cancer, who's not necessarily doing well or has something going on. I don't know. It could also just be that that's where things are right now. Something's blocked at the moment. What is also influencing you, sort of an overarching influence, is the Eight of Swords. So I would say this is probably, it could be related to this, because the Eight of Swords is about getting yourself out of a thought process or something that is restricting you. Usually this is about thoughts that you can feel like are fencing you in, or kind of keeping you trapped, keeping you from seeing things clearly. And it's a pattern that you're meant to break. There's something here that you're not supposed to do anymore. So usually with this, it's that there's something you're meant to see more clearly. Yeah. And so it could just mean that you're meant to change your view on that. And that could even be related to this. This is the Six of Swords in reverse. This is another theme for this month. What's interesting is that you have swords surrounding you, which means that, which swords relate to thoughts. So there could be a lot of thoughts going on. There could be a lot mentally going on, which makes sense because the first half of this month is in Libra, which is an air sign, and deals with thoughts and also balancing them. Six of Swords in reverse is usually about, upright, this card is about moving from a bad situation to something better. But when it's in reverse, that means there's something blocking it. So it's kind of similar to the Tower in reverse. It could also be that it's coming. There's just something that you're meant to learn at this time. And it feels very similar to the Eight of Swords, in that, as you can see, she's kind of trapped a little bit by all these swords. So it's almost that what I'm hearing is thoughts that were serving you a lifetime ago. So I feel like, and this came up for another sign this month, so it doesn't surprise me that this is an overarching theme. It's just not usually this similar. But it's really more of any limiting thoughts or mindsets that you have were most likely formed in the past, whether it's from a specific person or a situation, or something that you heard, something that influenced you in one way or another. So every thought process usually has its purpose. It has its roots in something. So it feels like it's an opportunity to look at, why is this surrounding you and what does it do? And it doesn't feel like all of them are necessarily bad, but it almost feels like if you can pick and choose which ones are serving you still and which ones are serving you no more, And those are the swords that you can get rid of, or the particular thoughts that you can release. So where you are this month is the Lovers. This is the card for the sign of Gemini. It can be about a relationship. In this particular deck, I see it a bit more as a relationship because it's showing a hand fasting ceremony, which is a pagan wedding, a European pagan wedding. And it has the X there, which is the rune for Gabo, which is all about equality and partnerships. So I would say the emphasis then would be for you to focus on any dynamic in your life, whether it's a friendship, romantic relationship, family member relationship, partnership, business partnership, where there is an even give and take, where it feels like an even keel, where you're giving and receiving in equal amounts. It can also be about making a decision of some sort, but I feel that it's really more about, also there's a note in this about noticing the good things in life, noticing what's going right, and I would say practicing gratitude for the relationships that are going well that you're grateful for. What's influencing you is the Three of Wands. This is about moving through a new doorway, through a new portal, into a new chapter. What's interesting, this never stood out before, is that here you can see one of the animals is carrying something. So it's almost like you're carrying something with you as you move forward. Usually the Three of Wands is about, the card before it is all about planning, making plans to move, to figure out where you want to go. The Three of Wands is then moving through that doorway that you've planned. You've made the plans, you've laid the groundwork, now you're moving ahead with it. So there's something where you're ready to move things forward. And wands relate to action, creativity, and communication. So it's something new that you're starting this month. As for the near future, you've got the Page of Pentacles, which is about, again, starting something new. Pentacles relate to earth element, work, home, and money. So it can be learning something new or putting down roots, a foundation for something that you want to build and to grow and to develop. It could be a business, it could be a home, a relationship, any of those things. Again, it could be studying something new, but usually it's more of laying down the framework and the groundwork to really build something big for yourself and possibly for others. In the future, you've got the Star, which is all about having hope, seeing the light in the dark. I feel like there's something in here too about seeing the goodness in the world. The Star relates to the sign of Aquarius, which is why it's the water bearer, which is your opposite. It's interesting because Aquarius is also about accessing divine knowledge and being able to share it with the world. So there could be something there too in accessing that, because for some reason the water is standing out. And it doesn't necessarily feel like it's tied to emotions. If it is, it feels in a very neutral way, simply that your emotions may be a key to you understanding yourself or understanding the world or other people better. But it feels more like learning something, which makes sense with the Page of Pentacles. There could be something that you're going to be studying or learning from. What you've also got in the future is the Seven of Cups in reverse. I usually see this to mean if you felt like you've only had bad choices in regards to something, like if you've had some options but they weren't ones you really wanted to take, that energy's shifting and you're going to have better options presented to you moving forward. That could literally be about anything. Cups usually are about emotions, but it can also be about illusions. So if you were having illusions presented to you, that's also shifting. And then what you have is the Three of Pentacles, teamwork. This is usually working with other people who want to build something for the future. I usually see the Three of Pentacles as, because it's often depicted as people building a church. And, usually if you were working on a church, you wouldn't see it completed in your lifetime. It took usually, I think, like 3 or 4 generations to finish those. So the idea is that you're working on building something that takes effort, it takes work, it takes collaboration and skill, patience, all of those things. And you have to communicate and really work together to build something that you may not see the final result of, but it definitely, you have this idea in your mind of where you want it to go. So this could be related to work or relationships, family. It could be literally anything. Wherever you feel like you want to put in the effort and grow something, it looks like you're going to find other people who want to put in that effort with you. And that could be one person or it could be multiple people. So let's see. What is something Leo should keep in mind this month? First thing I'm hearing is don't be afraid to grow. However that applies to you. Okay. So these could actually go together, because you've got the Devil and the Emperor. The Devil can be a Capricorn, Emperor can be an Aries. Those don't necessarily have to be the case. And then the Seven of Swords, which is about feeling defensive. So you could be feeling defensive around something that relates to these signs, or these cards. So the Devil is usually feeling trapped or stuck, beholden to someone or something else. It can also be an actual Capricorn. Or it can be that type of energy, however it embodies itself in your life. Sometimes it's addiction and lust. For some reason, I'm thinking things through clearly. This is probably advice on how to get out of this. Or if it's happening, I feel like this is more of a lesson in something. It doesn't necessarily feel like something bad or an ominous omen. It just seems like if you're confronted with something dark that seems kind of scary, there's an opportunity to learn something here, and it's possibly to learn something about balance. That it may not be something that you want in your life, but there's something that you can do with it. It's interesting. And this one, it just feels more like you're kind of going to look at it and be like, really? Okay. You don't scare me. But also that, and it might be something that's scary to other people, because, the Devil scares a lot of people, this card and the concept, right? But then there are other people who are like, well, I don't believe in the devil, so it has no power for me. So whatever that is, it's something where it might be scary to others, however it embodies itself, but it's something that you're meant to look at and notice and learn from somehow. So I feel like, in a way, kind of putting down the defenses obviously protecting yourself, but not feeling like you have to fight back whatever it is. It feels more like opening yourself up to the value of the lessons of that dynamic, or understanding what it is, that there's something there's in there for you to learn. And whatever that situation is, you can always ask your ancestors or spirit guides or whoever you work with to help you recognize the lesson and to learn it and to see it, and ask them to have that happen in such a way that it's that you can physically, mentally, and spiritually handle, so it's not super intense. And the other one is the Emperor, which again, it can be the sign of Aries. So it could be an Aries that you're dealing with, or this type of energy, which in this case almost feels like possibly a little bit of a know-it-all. And somebody, usually Aries is like the conqueror. It's the one that knows where they want to go. They know how they want to do things, and they don't really mince words, and they don't always care if they have people going with them. They want their army, but they're not always looking after everyone. It kind of depends. But in this case, it feels like somebody who may want what they want when they want it, and they want it now. And that could be making you feel a bit defensive. But again, it feels more like a learning opportunity. There's something that you can learn from this person, even if it's just what you don't want to be. It feels like if you have patience, this person may stay in your life and not necessarily be difficult to deal with, is how I would phrase it. I wouldn't say a pain, but it feels more like there's something valuable that you're meant to learn from this encounter with them. And it actually feels like they're not someone who's trying to steamroll you or control you or rule you over. It's more that I don't know. I feel like if this is an actual person you're dealing with, they may come out with like a lot of fire and brimstone, like, But after a while, you realize that they're kind of gooey underneath, and really they just want to be loved. So that's why I feel like both these with the defenses, it's really there's something you're meant to learn. Your defenses might go up originally because those cards can present themselves as something kind of scary or intense, and if it feels like other people are threatened, you might come at it like, oh my god, what's going on here? But I feel like it's different than what you might imagine. So with that, I feel like the lesson is not necessarily trusting the first appearance. If something's telling you to protect other people, then to listen to that. But I think there's something in here about appearances aren't what they first seem, to listen to your intuition for sure. But I feel like let someone kind of reveal themselves to you in that. Interesting lesson. Okay, so to recap, Two of Pentacles, juggling a few things this month. There may be some big transition that's being blocked and forward movement that's being blocked. It just kind of is what it is. What you're really meant to do is analyze thoughts that are holding you back or have been limiting you maybe in the past. Because once you're able to acknowledge what those are and which ones no longer serve you, it'll help you move forward. You may have a relationship or dynamic that plays a big role in your life this month. Again, it's about equality in relationships. That's the main theme. You may be moving into a new chapter of your life through a new doorway, so to speak, or something's moving forward with action, creativity, or communication. Near future, Page of Pentacles, you're laying down roots with something. You could be learning something new, but you're building something that could potentially grow into something else. In the future, you'll be feeling optimistic and hopeful. There could be divine information that you're getting. It could also be downloads. So if you have any trouble sleeping, this happens to me a lot. You have insomnia and you can't really figure out why. You're having trouble sleeping and you can't figure out why. Sometimes it can be that you're getting downloads of information. So that's when you check in with your guides and say, I need my sleep. Please send me this information when I'm awake. And you may need to say it a couple times because spirits who don't have bodies don't understand our human needs for sleeping and eating and resting and all of that. And they see it more as, well, now your mind is clear. So you're able to access the information and you're able to get it. And so you can even tell them like, okay, if you have a message for me, you can we'll set up this time. It'll be at this time at this day, and then we'll do it. And then you can even write it down or whatever, however it works for you. 7 of Cups in reverse. You're moving out of a period of having only bad decisions around something. And 3 of Pentacles. You're going to be building something with other people who are, you're going to have teamwork and partnership in building something. There's a lesson coming up for you around defensiveness, and it's with possibly a Capricorn and an Aries, or either people who can have some intense personalities, but it feels like there's lessons for you to learn there about possibly leadership, governance. Interesting. I'm hearing what it means to feel threatened. So I feel like in a way these people are going to be teachers, and that just observing them and interacting with them, they're going to teach you something and you're going to learn something new. I feel like it might be a little bit intense, but who better than a lion, right? All right. If you have any questions, you can always book a personal tarot reading with me, either over the phone, or I always also send them in emails. And I also do Reiki healing if you're interested in an in-person session in the Long Beach, California area or a distance. All the information for how to contact me and the rates and everything are in the description box below. Seems like it'll be an interesting month. A lot of lessons for you in store, Leo. So I hope you have a wonderful month of October, and I'll see all of you again next month.